a lot of, you have a lot of similarities in your background to my, my background, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess I was ready to hear what you had to say, because I have done plenty of research before I met you, so I guess I was just ready to hear it and to understand it well. Yeah, because it's been a very long and bumpy journey for me for the last 12 years. And I just couldn't get what was the problem. I just couldn't get some ideas there. I was quite confused because my life, it just didn't work very well, and I didn't understand why exactly. But now I see that it was it was this whole stuttering life thing, as I call it now.
What do you call it?
I call it stuttered life.
What does that mean?
It means that, it was kind of very similar to speaking when people stutter, they hold back, and they procrastinate. And the same thing was happening to my life. And no matter how hard I pushed and tried and studied, it just didn't work. But now I understand why, because I was holding back a lot, and I was afraid.
You weren't jumping in, you were just touching it?
Yeah, and I just wanted to be perfect, perfection. It was this, control freak and all that stuff.
That's the killer. The perfection is the killer.
That's it. Yeah. And now I understand why it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Well, because this whole personality was there. That whole personality was ruling, the game.
Well, I think you've gotten past a major barrier. What I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what you're saying and what I hear, you really got it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I also feel differently this last few days. I feel like something really moved inside of me, like I had a breakthrough of some kind. And I see that my personality is now beginning to open up more and change, and yes, and my feelings as well. Kind of, I don't feel there is need to rush anymore. I'm kind of just like more relaxed and more calm and composed. And I say, okay, now I have to do it now. So there's no way back, because I'm in too deep into this whole stammering thing. So I just have to keep going.
Yeah, you are in too deep. I agree. There's no way out of it, No,
I guess there is no turning back for me.
You've committed yourself to a direction now, and there is no turning back, because
I had my doubts like before, because people would try to convince me, oh, you're crazy, this is not going to work, just quit. But I just felt there was something else inside, and I just wanted to go and check. Yeah, but what if I'm right? What if I'm right? And they say, no, stuttering is a disease, is a disability, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? I'll go and check first. I want to verify that. They say, stuttering, really? This is a mental condition. There's nothing you can do because you're not a doctor. You're not a doctor. How dare you to speak this, these things, blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, I guess, but I just ignore them now. I say, whatever, just go away, disappear, and believe whatever you want.
I want you to know that there is a growing number of very savvy people who believe in the new way of looking at things.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth Mead was one of the ones, and she just passed
on. Yeah, I have never had the chance to talk to her. Unfortunately, she passed away.
But Anna Anna Margolina
Yeah, I do speak to her
is
occasionally.
is very much into it. I talked to Anna about 10 years ago when she was just kind of working through all this stuff,
Yeah.
and she's had major breakthroughs, and now she's become a major force, and a major force not only in stuttering but in self-discovery and all those other good things.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she's good.
So welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, I felt very lonely actually, these years. I felt like I'm on my own and nobody understands me, and like, what's the point of all this then if nobody can understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a fellow that I've been working with who I told what am I trying to say? Who I told about I can't I can't construct the stupid sentence. Who I mentioned you to.
is his name Luke?
Luke Pritchley.
Luke, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he doesn't have your he doesn't have anything near your background, but he's very much into what we're talking about. And he's doing a lot with Toastmasters and starting to take on speaking responsibilities, and I've sent him a whole bunch of your stuff. And I know he would just love to talk to you.
Yeah, he actually emailed me yesterday, and we spoke a little bit on emails. He asked me to do a talk for his stammerers group in some city not far away from Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, it sounds like fun. Let's do it.
Oh, good. I'm delighted you're going to do that. That's wonderful.
Sounds like fun. Why not?
Well, I think, the more you can get up in front of people like this and start talking and explaining and reminiscing and doing all the ing things.
For having these ideas, non-conventional approach.
Well, the McGuire program shouldn't do that, because I met Dave McGuire, a dozen years ago, and they know who I am and what I believe and all that stuff. So
yeah, well, there was some kind of criticism there, and I said to myself, okay, so if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
yeah.
But it looks like it's going somewhere now, so I'll just keep going.
Well, just follow your nose, because you have it pointed in the right direction right now.
Yeah, I feel kind of now at peace, and like finally kind of relieved. Finally. I'm in the right place at the right time, and it feels good. So yeah, well, thank you very much for your wisdom and lessons, because I know that I'm not crazy, which is good news.
No, you're not. As a matter of fact, you may end up as the person who becomes the standard bearer to carry this forward. Because, like I said, I'm getting pretty old in the tooth, long in the tooth here, and in 12, what was it? In 12 years, I'll be 100.
Wow.
Actually, in 112 years, I'll be 200. See, it depends how you phrase it, if you want to sound cool.
Yeah. And people they talk about acceptance quite a lot. They say you have to just accept your stammering and kind of live with it. What do these people actually mean? What is acceptance when it comes to stuttering, holding back?
Well, they say that because they don't understand what it is. When they say that, they assume that it is something which is a part of you and that you have to live with because there's nothing you can do about it. And as you're finding out, that is absolutely not true. Not true.
Yeah, I agree, but they just keep saying.
But as far as they're concerned, it's true because they don't know any better. But because they don't know any better, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't know better.
That's it. Yeah, well, each to their own, as I say.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and there was also people that try to plant these ideas into people's heads that actually holding back is a form of schizophrenia.
Oh God, no.
This is one of the recent ones I've heard.
Holding back is when a guy wants to say, I love you, Marguerite, but he's afraid to share his feelings, so he holds back.
Yeah,
he's not
that's
schizophrenic. He's trying to protect himself from being rejected, which is the usual reason why people hold back.
That's it. I agree fully. Yeah.
They don't want to be rejected and they don't want to be discounted and made to feel inconsequential. So they don't expose themselves to anything that might be used in that fashion. But that's why you have to follow your feelings and notice what's true for you, and then just give him hell, Harry, as they say. You've heard the expression, give him hell, Harry. That was out of a movie somewhere, I forget.
Yeah, I guess it's just people, as I like to say also to people that I work with, you become what you believe. So if you believe you're disabled, if it's a form of some mental condition, schizophrenia, whatever, then okay, that's your choice. Yeah. That's what I say. That's their choice. If you want to be disabled, go ahead. But I made my choice a long time ago. I didn't want that.
Well, when people don't understand something, there is a real proclivity for saying it's genetic, or it's not changeable, or it's just the way we are. And that's the easy way out. Because
I guess so.
You don't really have to look at what's going on. But I'm preaching to the choir now, because you have seen the light. Yes, ma'am. You have seen the light.
Oh yes, yeah. I had to see the light, because what else? Now the only way is the only way now for me is how do I deliver this to people that it's so hard for some of them to understand this concept. They're just resisting.
That's your big challenge, and that's always my challenge as well.
It's they just don't get it, but for me it's so simple, so straightforward. But they just stuck at this. Okay, stuttering is a speech problem, and they just say, like, how do I gain fluency? Please teach me to be fluent. I say, forget about speech.
Yeah. It's, I mean, people have to learn more than things about speech. They have to learn about themselves and about communication and about letting go and about being real and about exposing who they are and being vulnerable and all these other things. And see, in a way, it was easier to do it in California because everybody here went through the whole personal growth movement back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and hundreds. And, you know, everybody was doing all kinds of weird things like, you know, 48-hour non-sleep marathons and taking drugs and with the idea of finding out what was really there. And I think that England has a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, well, people do lots of crazy stuff now. I went to Peru and I experimented with psychedelics there, with shamans, which was quite profound and mystical experience for me.
I
have learned a lot.
Delighted you did that, by the way.
It was this was, you know, the experience of the lifetime.
Yes, I'm sure.
And it's kind of opened up a lot of things that I have never even suspected I had, actually.
That's correct.
A lot of it, it was just mind blowing. There was, you know, so much inside of me that I have never even suspected.
That's exactly what happens.
And it was liberating experience for me because, like, finally I am beginning to grasp who I am. Before that, it was all just a mask, you know, pretending.
That's right.
So it's kind of, now it's everything is kind of it's clear to me.
Right.
And
I think you could make certain generalizations about the stuttering community, which is that people tend to block off parts of who they are.
I see that all the time.
All the time.
And I don't really know how to convince them.
Oh, well, you have to figure that out, don't you?
Yeah, they are just they just refuse anything new. They just say, no, it's a disease. It's genetic. There's nothing I can do. That's it. I just, whatever.
One of the things that I found true is that if you want to convince people, you need to run your own story. And that's what I've done in a big part of my writing. I have one piece which I think I sent to you.
Yeah.
About how I recovered from chronic.
I read it. Yeah, I read it twice. Actually, I read it twice.
Which goes through the whole sequence of things that happened to me.
And it sounded like it sounded very similar to actually my experience that I'm going through now. Very similar. And I was like, this is about me. This is my story.
That's right. Well, I would be surprised if it didn't sound similar. Because we're going through a similar problem.
And I was just wondering, how do I stay open, stay myself, stay true, and don't go back into that shell of fakeness? Because I have been living a fake life for, I don't know, for many years, and it's kind of became like a habit. So how do I stay me and not hide into the shell?
Very simple. Run your story as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Run your story. What do you mean by that exactly? Is it just
Tell your story.
tell
I
your
mean, look
story?
at all the different ways that I've told my story. You know, I have a book, I have articles, I have tapes, I've done interviews, I've done all kinds of things with, you know, just telling my story over and over and over again. What that does, among other things, is it helps you to perfect your story so that you know better what you want to say and how to say it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it really helps to spend a lot of time telling your story.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, people are just some of them are very hard to convince, but I guess I'll just concentrate on those who are willing to listen for now.
I would love for you to spend a little time talking with my friend Luke Critchley.
Luke, yeah, I think we will actually talk on Friday. This coming Friday. So
yeah, Luke is very open to doing things. He's really been following my suggestions. He's, you know, doing things in Toastmasters and trying new things. But he's open to all of this, and he would be a good person for you to talk to. You could help him to direct his activities
and how old is he?
He's about 26.
26. So he's quite young, younger than me.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
You're how old now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm 39.
Oh yeah. Well, Luke is a lot younger than you. You're not an old lady yet. I'm getting up there, but God, do you know that in 112 years old, I'll be 200 years old?
Wow.
That's a sobering thought. I want you to know.
Can't even imagine that. I'm only 39 and I think like how will I feel when I'm like your age with all this knowledge, with all this experience?
You have no way of knowing.
Because, you know, kind of now at 39, I feel, oh my God, I actually know quite a lot. How much will I know when I'm 70 or 80 or 87?
You'll know a lot more.
I was like, okay.
But you know, if you keep on this same track, you'll continue to learn and experiment and talk and think and write and convince people and explore and stuff, and you'll start.
Yeah, I just hope that it will actually benefit people. It's not just me talking all the time and trying to make them believe my ideas.
It'll benefit people because there's no way it can't benefit people. I mean, what I do benefits people. And I don't have to think about, does it? I know it does because I have the truth.
Yeah, well, I wish everyone could share in this truth and follow this path.
Well, so you have to work at it.
Absolutely. I mean, as I think Anna told me, when the student is ready, teacher will appear.
That's right.
I guess when they are ready, they will understand the concept and they will follow.
And when the teacher is ready, the students will appear too.
Yeah, that's true. That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And I'm very happy to meet other people which to discuss this concept, because as I say, I felt quite lonely with all these ideas, because
Yeah.
people wouldn't understand. They wouldn't understand me, and I was like, okay, what's the point? Am I doing this? Why am I wasting my time? So yeah.
And there are some speech therapists. The people in my second book are all good people to know. And I think they will all talk to you.
Yeah, I would. I will definitely get in touch with them, and it just kind of.
Well, you were ready.
It all just made perfect sense.
You were ready. You had the requisite experiences, and you are who you are, and you're able to put it together.
I can see that it really is a personality. So it has nothing to do with speaking, and it has everything to do with personality, with persona. And yeah, it's because I see it in my life as well. I have been quite controlling as a person.
Yeah.
And a perfectionist. So and it stopped me from achieving many things that I could have achieved many years ago. But I would just hold back all the time. Maybe not, maybe tomorrow. What if it doesn't work out? Blah blah blah. And it's just
exactly. I mean, I grew up in a very protected environment. I grew up in a upper middle class Jewish community in Long Island, which is a suburb of New York, or part of it is. And I went to a private school, so I didn't have to deal with the public school kids. The private school was really a controlled environment, Only nice people went to the private school, and I played soccer, but they were all nice people who were playing soccer, and occasionally I would have some kind of an encounter with a public school kid outside of my normal, life. And it always scared me, because they were playing by different rules. And at some point, as I got older, as I went through college and got older, then I got a little bit more daring, and went out looking for experiences. I jumped out of airplanes, and I took LSD, and I did a lot of encounter groups, and I did encounter groups with people who had been around too. There was an organization which I mentioned in my book called Synanon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Synanon was made up of people who were ex-drug addicts and stuff, and so they had big life experience. So I got to interact with them, but in a fairly controlled environment. In other words, nobody's gonna punch anybody out in the room. And everybody was in agreement that what was really important was to find out what the truth is to be about something, and being able to say it. I have this postnasal drip, which is killing my voice these days. I don't have a voice anymore.
Okay.
Getting old is not for sissies, I want you to know.
Not for sissies.
No.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, I guess so. Well, for me, I grew up in a Soviet family back in 1980s.
Yeah.
So for me, I have never went to any private school because my family was a Soviet family. So we were meant to be, all the same. And we were supposed to be building, the bright Soviet future. That was the idea. We didn't have much, but, but I mean, like, my father was very strict, and he actually brought me up as a boy. Because yeah, he wanted to have a boy, but I was a girl. But he was still, he was very harsh with me, and he was very critical. And he himself, he's quite a perfectionist himself, to the point of being obsessive about things. Like, for example, before you get into his car, you have to check if your shoes are clean or not. So this kind of perfection.
Yeah. Well, my mother was that kind of person, but not quite in the same way. She was a woman, so it was a lot softer. And she was she taught kindergarten, in the New York school system when she was younger. But she was a quiet perfectionist, and nothing ever got out of hand. Actually, I may have told you this, or you may have read it somewhere, but when my wife was in China on a trip that she got for free from a travel agency, I went to visit my mother in Florida, and we were driving down the main street in the town she lived in, and we're pulling up to a traffic light, and just out of the blue, my mother says, I never had an orgasm with your father. And I listened to that, and after I got through the shock of it, there was a voice that said, "Makes sense." My mother never let go. My mother was a perfectionist. When I was 3.5 years old, I had disfluencies. They were bringing me to the National Hospital for Speech and Hearing Disorders in New York City at the age of 3.5 or 4 or whatever it was. That was very early, because they saw that I had a stuttering problem. Well, so she, perceived it. and my mother liked things. My mother liked things just so, but she was not insistent or loud or pushy about it. She was quietly perfectionist.
Yeah, can imagine. Yeah, definitely. Control is a big thing when it comes to like enjoying life. You need to be prepared to let go, lose control.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But people who have this problem tend to be very sensitive, tend to be highly sensitive. I think I found that one statistic that I quoted, that some woman was doing a study and found that about 25% of the general population would be characterized as highly sensitive, but the stuttering population, it was like 84%.
I wonder, what do you think about this? Does it mean that we have some special abilities? I don't know, maybe healers or something like that.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean abilities. It's more your receptivity is much more sensitive, so you pick up more.
And how do you live with that when you pick up everything?
Yeah, well, it is, and you have to figure out what you want to do with it, and that's the challenge, because highly sensitive kids don't necessarily know what to do with it.
No,
especially when the rest of their friends, are not highly sensitive.
Yeah. Well, I only found out that I was highly sensitive last year. Actually, I didn't believe such stuff. I was
really.
I was very logical. I would say, no, these kind of things don't happen to people like me. So I would say, people would come to me and say, that you're very sensitive. You're feeling everything, and the atmospheres, people, places. I would say, no, yeah, no, I was living in denial most of my life. I would just say, no, these kind of things don't happen to people like me. And I would just say, okay, no. But then when I had the experiences with psychedelics, it was really clear to me that, okay, this is who you are, and you have to now accept it.
I'm delighted that you had that psychedelic experience.
I had a lot, had lots of chances.
I haven't met too many people who stutter, who have gone that route, and to find out.
Because my life wasn't working, so this was the last resort. I thought to myself, if this doesn't help, nothing will. But it did. It really changed my life.
Did you sit down and write an account of what happened when you were under the control of the psychedelics?
I actually have a diary. Full of different writings there. Yeah, it revealed quite it revealed a lot of surprising things about myself. Like, for example, I was full of anger. Actually, there was lots of rage inside of me.
Yeah.
Lots of rage inside of me that I held it back. I suppressed it all my life.
I think that's characteristic of a lot of people who stutter.
I had lots of rage. So much I would never believe how much there was.
Oh, I believe it.
It was like, oh my God, where is it all coming from? Where is it all coming from? It was like that. And I had the chance to release it there, which was a good thing. I was really shouting. I have never been so angry in my whole life.
Oh, that's terrific. Well,
And it was liberating. I felt relieved, really like, wow, finally I'm free.
well, you have reached the point of no return. There's no question about it. You've reached it, and if you've gone well beyond it, I would be interested to see what happens when you finally get a chance to talk to my friend Luke.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have anything like your background, but he is very open to the things.
That's nice. That's nice too. That's nice to see.
and you could be a real help to him because you're there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he doesn't live too far from me. He lives in a small town, maybe half an hour drive from here. So
Yeah.
even if he wants to meet, maybe we could arrange a meeting of some kind.
Yeah.
That would be nice to finally meet someone like my.
He doesn't get on well with his father.
Uh-huh.
I've been hearing about the fact that his father doesn't want to even talk to him.
Mm.
So he's dealing with family stuff.
Mm. Before I went to Peru, I was also dealing with my parents, who are they are very narrow-minded, and they're not open to anything like that. I have never told them about my experiences in Peru because I know they would never understand, because people like them, they just don't talk about stuff like that. This is forbidden. This is absolutely forbidden. And I used to be very angry with my parents, but now I understand, because it's not their fault that they're like that.
No, it's not really.
This is the way they were conditioned, and there is nothing I can do. I can't change them.
They're a product of their time and their culture, and
that's it. And I forgive them. I understand them now, and I'm not angry anymore. I'm happy and relieved.
Well, I think you've turned some major corners, and I think that you are really in a very powerful position to have a significant influence on a lot of people. All right, let me tell you, I'm not a small person. You are much, much bigger than you think you are.
Yeah, it's again, this is to do with my father. This is to do with my conditioning. This is to do with my school. In school, they would tell us, okay, don't stick out, be like everyone else. Don't stick out, be like everyone else, just blend in and live like anybody else. And I said, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong, because I'm going to break that tradition.
Well, like it or not, you have committed yourself to a path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I see now, definitely.
And there's no turning back.
Yeah, because for me, like when I started my journey 12 years ago, I was actually very selfish. I thought to myself, okay, I just want to get rid of my stuttering, and that's it. I don't want to help anybody else. It's just about me, nobody else. But then people started coming to me and asking, okay, so how do you do this? How do you speak, presentations, public speaking, all that stuff? How do you come teach us? And this is how it started, actually. I felt like, me, but I'm just a small girl. There's nothing but they, no, come on, teach us.
Have you read anything or gotten to know anything about Anna Margolina?
I spoke to her, I think, a few months ago. We did an interview for my Russian YouTube channel. She spoke about her feelings and how to speak with a feeling.
Because she has a lot of background similar to yours.
Yeah.
And she was, I mean, you know, I met a lot of these people around 2008, 2009, 2010. Anna Margolina was just really sticking her head above ground, so to speak, as was Ruth Mead. You know, Ruth Mead told the story of you know, what she was doing. She was really starting to discover stuff. And then she found my book, and she sat down and read it, and she read it for 18 straight hours or something. I don't know what. But she really got into it big time. Hang on.
Yeah.
They take good care of me here.
That's good. That's great to see. I would actually love to come and visit you in person, but
Well,
to go to America.
This is pretty good. I mean, I'm just thrilled with what you can do with Skype and Zoom and stuff.
Yeah, that's it is impressive. It's great stuff. Yeah, I have never been to the United States, so something to explore for me for the future.
Oh yeah. But talking on Zoom is like talking in person.
That's it. Yeah, it's very good. It's perfect. Technology is working very well.
Yes.
Helping us to get connected and share ideas, which is brilliant.
Big time. Do they have any personal growth programs in England like they do in California? You know,
well, majority of programs are in London or closer to London. I live in Liverpool, and it's a very kind of a working class city. So they're interested in football, in beer, going out, disco, this kind of stuff. Right. They're not really interested in self-development as much, unfortunately.
I understand. Well, so you got to find a way you can.
Yeah, well, we are actually me and my husband, we are thinking of leaving the UK and going to Costa Rica, which is closer to the United States. Yeah, because I really like the culture there, and it's very relaxing. I don't really like to live in the UK anymore. I have lived here for 18 years and I've had enough. So it's
a big difference if you're in a culture that you can relate to. I mean,
not really.
None of your ideas, none of them would be crazy in California. I want you to know.
Yeah. I would like to go and explore, because I feel lonely here. It's just me, my husband, and our daughter. And we are kind of thinking now, well, we're not thinking, we're making plans of relocating from here somewhere closer to the United States. Yeah. More fun, Mexico, this kind of culture.
Have you had a chance to talk to Anna Margolina?
I can get in touch with her anytime. We we are on Facebook. She's my friend, so if I need to, I can always send her a message. What
Yeah,
would you like me to talk to her about, John?
anything.
Anything. Because
Anna is really in a explore my life and anything to do with it.
Yeah, yes, I know.
And she's willing, anxious, and interested in looking at all kinds of things.
Yes, she's now running some groups for women, like self-development groups for women. And as far as I'm concerned, she doesn't really deal with stuttering these days. I don't know, but
No, she doesn't. But she knows a lot about it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I read her book. It's called Slaying the Dragon or something like that. Yeah. I've read her book. I have it somewhere in the house. Yeah, it helped me a lot. I liked her presentations when she spoke at the Toastmasters, and I asked her, it was maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I asked her, how do you sound so natural? How do you have fun speaking? Because I was always, so tense. I was so perfect and very tense. And, she told me something, just let go, just have fun, just prepare to have fun. And even if you fail, have fun and fail. Fail gloriously. Fail really gloriously.
Yeah.
I thought that's a good idea.
Have you seen many of her talks?
Couple of them on YouTube.
She has a lot of them on YouTube. A lot.
Mm-hmm. I will definitely look at them.
You might want to check out some of them.
Mm-hmm. I will have a look, definitely.
I think she even has a talk on the Hexagon.
Mm-hmm.
But she has a lot of, she was very active in Toastmasters for a long time.
Yeah. And, I went to speaking clubs too for many years, and I did a clown presentation. I was wearing a wig, and I can even show you some of the pictures. This was my part. I did this few years ago. This was my challenge. I just wanted to learn how to have fun, because I never actually had fun in my life.
Yeah,
I was not allowed to have fun. I was supposed to be serious and perfect all the time. And I just went to those clubs to really let go. But I guess kind of my speech improved, but my life was still stuttered life, as I call it. It was stuttered life. It was, that personality was still there. Let me just show you my picture here. This is me at the Toastmasters. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. That's you.
Wig and red nose.
That's great.
So yeah, I did some of the, it was, I don't know how many, it was before the pandemic. So I think it was year 2018. That was me.
Well, Anna went to clown school and
I know
did all kinds of stuff like that. So you'll have a lot in common with her.
Mm-hmm.
I just think you'll find it very interesting to talk to and fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do all those workshops, clowning and stuff, but I tried to find something here, but maybe couple of years ago. I mean, no, not couple of years. About 4 years ago, there was something, but now it's all gone. So time to move and go somewhere else to explore my true self now. This is not, it's not about speaking, it's about exploring the true self.
That's the name of the game.
Because I see there's something very interesting hiding inside of me, which needs to be released and do the good in the world now.
Yeah. Well, and only you can make it happen.
That's it. Absolutely. So I guess life is just beginning for me. Yeah. Enough of hiding, time to get.
I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know, like I told you, you're the first person who I've come across who I think is gonna do big things. How did you happen to find that psychedelic experience?
Well, it was very healing for me, and it confirmed everything that I was I was suspecting about me, but everything was confirmed in a big and grand way. Like, that's who you are. Can you see now? That's who you are. And
my question was more, how did you happen to set yourself up for it?
Okay, well, it was.
The training.
I see. Well, yeah, I just, it was actually a couple of years ago that I first heard about it from, I don't know, from the internet somewhere. And it just straight away, I thought, that's interesting. And I watched many documentaries on it, on ayahuasca and you know, stuff like that. And it just clicked. I had a calling for it, as they say.
While you were in England, you
yes, yeah. Well, yeah, it was here.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so I need to and I was always I had those questions in my head, like, who am I really? I mean, really, who am I really? And yes, we're on the same.
Great.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. Yeah, because so it's kind of, it happened in the moment when I needed most, because I felt like my life was falling apart and it didn't make any sense anymore. And I just said, okay, I need to go and learn and to understand what I want in life and who I am. And it answered all my questions. And I will definitely be going again. Who knows where it takes me, this journey. But I have a very good connection with the plants, and they keep teaching me, and some ideas keep coming into my mind. I see this and this and that, and like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's constant work. It's not a magic pill. It's constant work, because the information keeps coming and coming in and coming in, and sometimes I actually get quite tired because it's too much. I need a break, but it just keeps coming and coming. Yeah, but I see where it's all going now. It makes sense for me, so I'm happy.
Wait, do you know that my book is translated into Russian?
Yes, I do know. Yeah. But you see, many people come to me, they say, yes, we have read John Harrison's book, but they still don't quite get the concept.
Oh yeah,
that's the problem.
They need to process the information.
Yeah, people read many books, but still, it's everything sounds cool, great, super, but they still don't get it. And I have to be honest with you, John. I think I actually started reading your book many years ago, but I haven't finished reading it. So it's still there somewhere. I need to pull it out.
Not necessary, you know. You've certainly gone far beyond
Yeah, I came with
your own
all this idea.
experience.
Yeah. So, but now I will definitely read the book in full, and I'll see what else is there that I've missed maybe. But yeah, it all makes perfect sense to me. And it's just like, for me, it's so easy. It's just 2 + 2 = 4. No big deal. Not difficult at all. So
I'll tell you, of all the people I've met, and I mean all of them, you've probably gotten it better than anybody I know.
oh, wow.
And that includes people like Anna Margalina and Ruth Mead and all those other people.
Oh, well.
You got it. You got it, lady.
Yeah, it's and I see, as I say, it's not about speech, it's about life. It's this whole persona that is
right.
like that. And when you heal that persona, then you get your speech back and your life back and everything.
That's right. But it's a very, very, very hard thing to communicate to the average person.
Yeah, that's my challenge as well. Jesus.
And I think it will always be very difficult unless there's some breakthrough somehow in the in the teaching of this. And I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, well, I have my psychedelic experiences to help me. So
Oh, and they're very helpful, I have to say.
Yeah, psychedelics, they do pretty amazing things with the brain and how it works. And I feel like I'm a different person. Like, for example, I went in February, so it's been 4 or 5 months, but I'm like completely transformed, and I'm changing every single day. There's like more opening up, unfolding, and more unfolding every single day, and it's so fast now. It's just speed of light.
Have you had any urges to have another psychedelic experience?
Yes, absolutely, I will, because I want to explore further.
Yeah.
Can't get enough.
Oh yeah. Well, it gets very interesting when you.
Yeah, it's just there is so much to learn.
And moving in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm moving in the right direction. And first of all, I wanted to heal my mind and my body. Now I want to learn about the world and how it works and what can I do in this world, how can I help? That's my next step in this.
You have your work cut out for you.
That's it, absolutely. They showed me everything. You do this, lady, this and this. That's it.
Well,
so we'll see.
I'm totally impressed with what you're doing. Of all the people I've met, and I've met a lot of them, you're right at the top of the list.
Who knows? Who knows?
Entirely feasible.
Yeah. Who knows where it takes me, because it's been really crazy time with this last few months. I don't know, just so many surprises in my life. I would never think that I would ever get the chance to speak to you, because you are the legend. I would never feel no chance. And it's so nice.
Well, you're busy creating your own legend.
That's it. Yeah, it's time for me to get out, from under the rock where I was always hiding.
Yeah, I'm gonna be around. I've gotten very old. I've got all kinds of problems. I have a shoulder that's killing me and a lot of aches and pains.
Can I ask you, John, how would you like to see the future of this whole stuttering thing? What is your ideal picture or standard? How would you like it to change?
Well, it's not just about stuttering.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being open with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only people who have stuttering problems who
Yeah.
are not open to who they are. The world of politics is full of people, for example, who are people like Donald Trump. God, I hate the guy. It's like a general level of enlightenment that comes when a lot of these ideas become more mainstream. I think what you're finding out, at least the way you describe them, is that you can talk to people and you can describe the stuff and you can tell them, but they want to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah.
They want to see it the way they want to see it because that's what they're comfortable with. Because in order to change how you see something like that, you have to change.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to change.
And people are not particularly open to that kind of change. Unless you're in California, then everybody is, of course. But it helps if your environment encourages that kind of self-exploration. And Northern California in particular really has been open to that for the last 40, 50 years. But I would imagine in England that's pushing the clock back a long way.
Yeah. No, they are very conservative here. They don't like to change.
So if you want to find a place that is conducive to what it is that you're thinking about, you're gonna probably have to move.
Yeah, that's what we've been thinking for like 4 or 5 years already.
Yeah, there's no question about it, that you need to be living in a different environment. And then it becomes more fun.
That's it. Looking forward to that.
In the meantime, there's always the internet, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, well, yeah. And how would you like to see, like, what would you like to, like, say, I don't know, in 5 or 10 years time, how would you like this whole thing to progress? What is your ideal scenario?
I haven't thought it through, to tell you the truth.
No.
Because I won't be around for it, so I haven't. The world is changing so fast these days. I just don't relate to so many things that are happening right now.
That's it. Yeah.
It's just it's not a world I'm really comfortable with. Everybody talks fast for one thing. Like on TV, everybody talks fast on TV, at least on American TV. Really, really fast talkers. You know, I'm not a fast talker. I don't like to talk fast. I like to talk slower with more passion, but you know, most of the people who are popular on TV, you know, talk at about 180 or 200 words a minute. And so it creates a different environment, a different atmosphere that I'm not totally comfortable with, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
You like you up here.
Oh, that's good. I would be in a good company there.
You would find enough crazy people around to
That's good.
play to.
That would be a huge relief for me.
Yeah. And maybe in Southern California too now. But it was happening in California. I came out in about 1960, 62. So no, when did I come out? 57. I came out in 1962. And it was just really starting then. So I did a lot of stuff.
Oh, wow.
But now all this stuff is more highly developed. So
yeah.
It's actually yours for the taking. All you have to do is come take it.
Yeah, I think I'll move somewhere closer to the US. So we'll see how it goes. Because I feel here I'm completely stuck. I'm like in a box.
Well, I think you're stifled pretty much by the culture.
That's it, yeah.
And it's a very traditional culture, and I think a good part of Europe is that way. I mean, California was, when I came out, it was one of the most unique places in the world. When I came out, there were things happening in California that were not happening anywhere else, you know, and we'll do it. It can be that casual.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your wisdom, for your lessons, for your support. It's really fantastic for me.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks very much. You enjoy your nap. Speak to you again soon.
Okay, Olga.
All the best.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.